On my way back, guess what I met? This boy threw away my suitcase that had my clothes, that had my property, that had my Bible, that had my master CDs. He threw them out of their house. And what's up, good people? Thank you so much for stopping by to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell to always receive an alert of every video we do upload in our YouTube channel. I want to welcome you back to another episode of My Hustles, a video series that I had already started before, talking about my life and my hustles. And my intention of doing these videos talking about my life is to give somebody hope, somebody somewhere who thinks that life is too difficult for them and they think of giving up. I want, through my story, somebody seated somewhere to know that there is hope and there is God in heaven who listens and who watches. You can make it, and I believe in you. Who's watching this video, you're gonna make it. Now, just to continue from where we had stopped from in the previous episode, we stopped at a point where I had managed to join the music business or the music industry. Yes, I call it music business because I knew every person who was joining music to make money, and musicians, by the times we were growing, when we were still young, were rich. You could not hear of a musician who was poor. All musicians were rich. And so I felt like me joining the music industry was going to make me rich. And I was in a dilemma, not knowing whether to join music industry as a gospel artist or as a secular artist. For me, I wanted to join that platform that will give me room to make money, because I wanted to make money. That is the main reason why I joined the music business. Good. So here I was, I'd already managed to record my first song, Yesu Yesu, in a studio in Nairobi called African Touch Creativity by producer Melody. He really worked well on my song and I was really happy. I must thank some other few people who also helped me come up with this good song, because I was having problems familiarizing myself with this studio or with studio things. You know, it's your first time standing in a studio, you are given that microphone, headphones, you don't know what to do. You are scared, you know. And then I also want to give a shout out to one friend of mine. I also have to acknowledge her, Betha Awor. She really contributed a lot to my first song or to my music industry, because she helped me do backup of my first song, Yesu Yesu, which means Jesus Jesus. Though she went to be with the Lord early last year in May 15th, we thank God for her life, because God gives and God takes at his own will. We do not have any chance or any authority to argue with God. God had a reason why she took her at that time when the world needed her more. May you continue resting in peace, Betha Award. Now, I had spent my savings in recording this music album that costed me $60, equivalent to 6,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, what was I going to do? I continued working in the butcher where I used to work for some time, where I used to earn 300 Kenyan shillings per day. Now, something was developing back where I used to stay. Now, this person I used to stay with wanted to grow in life. So, he asked me out. And when I say he wanted to grow in life, I meant he wanted to go to the next step of life, which was marriage. He wanted to marry. So, he asked me out of his house. Wow, so where was I going to go to? What was I going to do? I had to look for another friend of mine. And by this time, I'd already gotten a smartphone. I remember telling you in the previous videos that I didn't have a smartphone when I was in campus. I got a smartphone very late. But now I know how to use them. Anyway, that was many years back. So I had to look for another friend through Facebook. And there is this friend of mine who connected me to his sister to go and stay with them. And for the period that I stayed with them, I took the role of a houseboy, where I used to work for them just to get a roof over my head, just to get money to sustain myself, and also to get food for my stomach. So I stayed with them, but I took the role of a houseboy. I would clean, I would wash clothes, I would cook, I would do everything. I stayed with them for a short time before I made a decision to leave. The main reason why I had to leave this place was because of the frustrations that I was undergoing because of this boy that introduced me to the sister. This boy used to frustrate me. Whenever the sister went to work, I used to remain with him behind. Now, this boy was a yo-yo type. Those people who live life and those people who survive. So he was living, they had the money. So he used to have friends. Sometimes he will come with his friends and then he will command me in a way that never made me happy. Like, Devance, go and make us food. And then he will introduce me to his friends like, that is our houseboy. That title was really irritating. I really didn't want it because that was not me. I wanted to be a journalist, not a houseboy. So when somebody would call me houseboy, to an extent of introducing me to his friends that that's our houseboy, it was really hurting my feelings. So I felt like, no, this is not my place. Here I was, I'd already recorded my first song, Yesu Yesu, but I kept it because after recording music, I didn't know that there were other steps that were involved before you start making money. Now, one of the steps is promoting your work. You have to promote your work, and then this will involve paying people to do it for you, paying promoters. We had promoters who will help you promote your work. Another way you could promote your work was through radio stations. For your music to be played in a radio station, you needed money. You had to pay the presenters. You needed to pay so that your music can get an airplay. I didn't have them extra cash. So I had to keep my master CD. A master CD is that kind of a CD where once you've completed your music recording or you've completed your audio recording, your music MP3 is stored for future use. It's a very powerful CD that doesn't easily crash or doesn't easily get spoiled. I had to think of what to do. So one day I went to buy breakfast, and before I left this house, we had a very major disagreement with this boy that we used to stay with in his sister's house. We had a quarrel which eventually led to a fight, and because I didn't love fighting so much, I knew I was going to injure this boy. So we fought a little, and the little that we fought, I injured him. Yes, I really beat the stupidity out of this boy. He feared fighting more, so we stopped fighting. But since this was their house, I had to humble because I didn't want to be sent away. I went to the shop to buy bread and milk for breakfast so I can prepare for myself and him. On my way back, guess what I met? This boy threw away my suitcase that had my clothes, that had my property, that had my Bible, that had my master CDs. He threw them out of their house. And I met them out, lying on the muddy environment. That day it had rained. The ground was still wet, full of mud. And that was where my things were lying. What hurt me most was my master CD. My music CD that I really spent a lot to record. It was on the ground, on mud. It really pains me when I remember how I was sent out of that place. The boy didn't give me a chance to go back to the house. I called the sister and told the sister, I'm leaving. Your brother has kicked me out of the house. And the sister tried begging me, asking me to remain behind. And he told me, when I come back to that house, let me find that boy out of that house. To me, that was the worst decision the sister was going to make. Because how would the sister disagree with his own brother because of me, a stranger? So I had to just get out there peacefully. I called my stepbrother who was staying in town, Nairobi town. He came, helped me pick my things. I didn't even have transport. Because if I knew that was what was going to happen, I couldn't have bought the milk and bread. Instead, I would have used that money for transport and other things. But I thank God the bread and milk that I bought was my meal for the remaining part of the day. My stepbrother came, helped me pack my things and helped me He took my bag and kept it for some time as I was looking for an option or an alternative. That was the first time I slept in the streets of Nairobi. It was a difficult situation for me because I could not sleep with him in his school hostels. It was illegal to host somebody. I slept with the street children. I spent my night in the streets, and not just one night, but 2 nights. But I have forgiven that boy who threw me out of the sister's house. I had to collect myself. I had to think of something else to do with my life. I met another man through another friend of mine again. The power of connections, you know. This friend of mine connected me to a friend of his who sympathized with me and gave me money to go and start a life in Kakamega, because I felt like Kakamega was more easy. I'd already adapted to the life in Kakamega. Nairobi life was expensive. Even if I had to look for a house in Nairobi, it was going to be expensive. Where was I going to get money to pay rent? Nairobi landlords are very cruel. Nobody wants you even to extend an hour with their balance. So I went back to Kakamega because I had already understood the life in Kakamega. I knew how it was. He paid my transport that night back to Kakamega and gave me another 6,000 shillings to go and pay rent in Kakamega. I thank God I got a cheap house at 3,000 Kenyan shillings per month. So the 6,000 that this guy gave me, I used it to pay rent. I told myself, as long as I have a roof over my head, whatever I will eat shall not be a bother. So here I was, I had already paid my rent, I had my house. I knew a few people who also helped me in one way or the other through providing food, mattresses, old mattresses, which I combined and formed one major mattress or one big mattress, which is good to me. Another friend of mine introduced me to their church, and this church that he was going was called PCEA. I quickly went to that church, and in 2 weeks' time, I had already joined the praise and worship team, where they needed people to join the praise and worship team. I served God for the first Sunday and the second Sunday and the third Sunday, and I felt like this is where I was supposed to be, because the way God was using me to transform the lives of people was amazing. And then I thought about the decision I made that I am joining the music industry to make money. This time it changed. I decided to settle for the option of joining the music industry to serve God. I went to my pastor. I told pastor, Daddy, here is my music CD. I have managed to record one song, but I need more money to continue recording until I can complete a full album of 8 songs. Please help me. I'm struggling. My pastor was good. He was a father. He was a mentor. So he really understood the pain that I was going through after sharing the little with him. And he told me he was going to see what he could do. Coming the next Sunday, he introduced me to the church. He told the church members that, hello, you've all seen this boy. He has a great passion to serve God. And today, he has come with 50 copies of music CD. And in the CD, he has only one song. This boy has taken a step of faith to come with this one song to sell it to us. Not that he wished to do so, but because he needs your support. By buying his music CD at 100 shillings, he will raise money to continue recording more songs that will continue being a blessing to us and the world out there. Before this church ends, make sure you get a copy of his music. That day alone, I managed to sell all my music CDs, and I managed to raise 5,000 Kenyan shillings. And believe me or not, I made more money than the 5,000 shillings that I was expecting. Because there were those people who really wanted to support my music ministry, and they gave more. Those people who always wanted to see others prosper, they were the people like, keep change. And I kept change. At the end of that Sunday service, I made 7,000 Kenyan shillings. I went back to my house, identified another studio in town within Kakamega town, and I got this producer called Letter One, who helped me record my second song called Usiniache. Usiniache was a song that was greatly inspired by the occurrences or the things that I was going through at that particular time. It's a song that I was asking God not to forsake me. When He was blessing His people, let Him also bless me. When He is lifting His people, may He remember me. It's a song that you can find in my YouTube channel. Some of the songs that I uploaded very many years ago. It will bless you. Though the quality was not good by then, but today I appreciate that I did what I could do with the money that I received. And the next Sunday when I went back to church, I included it in my master CD. Now I had 2 songs. I made another 50 copies of CDs and went back to church. I told my pastor, Dad, I have managed to come back with another song. My pastor was so happy and told me, go sell them. And I continued selling my music CDs slowly by slowly until I raised money to make 6 songs. By that time, my first album had 6 songs. It was a journey that I went through a lot, ups and downs, but I thank God that He helped me. Not at one point did He ever forsake me. I tried my best until I got to a point where I saved enough money to help me think of something else to do with my life and my talent. Now, I wanted to help people. And by that time, I started a charity organization called I Am My Brother's Keeper. Through the help of a few friends I had, we raised money to buy pens and pencils, which we distributed to needy kids who needed them more than we did. And I really thank God that even though it was a small act of kindness, to God it was a very big thing because we did it with a great passion. After that, I decided now I want to organize a music talent. The main reason why I wanted to organize a music talent was because I wanted to nurture other people's talents. And also I knew by doing this, it was a one way that I was also giving God thanks for the talent that He gave me. I knew people were struggling to raise money to support their different talents. And God had given me a talent. I'm not going to waste this opportunity. So I decided to hold a music talent or a music search event back in my home island, in Mfangano Island in Lake Victoria. So I decided to look for money and sponsors and people to partner with who will help me support my vision. By that time, I didn't have much friends who could really give me money. But I knew we had people who we call leaders, who we had chosen to help our people. I went to the county offices of Homa Bay County, walked into a few politicians' offices, and presented my proposal to them and told them I want to help people. If they could partner with me, if they could help me support these people, then these people would see their dreams come true. This was one way of economically empowering our youth through supporting their talents. It was a good vision, and some of the politicians decided to support me. And I was glad that they were ready to work with me to see my vision come true. In the next video, we are going to talk about more of what happened. Did my vision come to pass? Did I get the support that I needed from these politicians? And then, if I got it, what happened next? See you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you share this video and let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down here. Until next time, this is Devance Empire. End of discussion.